Hey y'all, I'm back with a DIY embellishments video, and this is all about cut aparts. I was inspired by a past video of mine that I did where I used Project Life cards and created embellishments by cutting apart little elements out of the cards. And I thought, why not do that with pattern paper? I have tons of pattern paper with lots of fun little icons on it, so I decided to cut them up and use them to make some fun little embellishments. I will share a video soon on how I use some of these because I know that you guys love to see that. So I've sped this part up quite a bit because I know that this could get pretty boring, kind of just watching me cut things. But I wanted you guys to see the process for how I choose things and how I use punches and different things or different tools to come up with the design that I end up creating. So one thing I want to mention is that I do a lot of circular embellishments because that's one of my favorite things to add to a page. But I really wanted to focus on other shapes because I know that some of you may not have circle punches and some of you may only have I don't know, just your standard like scissors and maybe even a hole punch. And I use that hole punch to make a ticket. I don't know if you saw me do that earlier, but basically you cut a rectangle and then you use the hole punch, the edge of it or you place it on the edge of the corners and you just chop it off. And so it makes a little ticket shape. And so that's a really easy way to get kind of a fun little shape if you don't have a ticket punch. So you'll see that I'm using my scissors just to kind of cut some shapes, even as far as like cutting out some of the rectangular and square elements, and then I'm also using my punches to do more of the circular elements. And then I even cut out some houses or little apartment buildings earlier, and I'll show you guys how I use those as well. I mentioned this before, but I'm also really loving semicircles, and so I will, or at least circles where part of it is cut off to where there's a straight edge at the bottom or the top. And so, or even the sides. And so you will see me work with that here in just a little bit. So I'm going to kind of separate some of these things. And the next thing I'm going to do is grab some items from my stash that I think I may want to layer up. So this isn't, I do have my tiny text words and I do have my smaller embellishments, but I really want to show you guys a process on how I layer things from pretty much from scratch. And so that is what I'm doing. And like I said, I'm pulling different shapes and sizes and things like that so you guys can see a mixture. The first thing I'm going to work with are these cute little houses that I cut up. And I did cut up part of the circle there as you saw. And then I'm going to adhere both of those houses kind of layered right on top of each other. And I'm going to add two little, I believe I add some little tiny text words right on top. I add a little arrow shape. I'm just going to adhere that and then staple that on. I'm actually going to set that aside, but one thing that you don't see me do is add stickers. Actually, I may do that on film, but the final photos have all the details. With the clipboard, I just added a 3 and then added a little circular element. And one thing you'll notice that I do is when I have I don't really layer too many circular elements on top of each other. If I do, it's like 2, and what I've been doing lately is kind of offsetting it so it doesn't look perfect. I used to make embellishments where like everything was stacked perfectly in the middle, and that's just not really, I still can use that kind of stuff, but I'm really loving kind of like wonky shapes and just simplicity. I don't know if that makes any sense, but anyway, I found a little label that is just plain with the little blue stripe and white underneath, and then I added a circular element with an ampersand and then a tiny text phrase. On this frame, I decided to use a little phrase that's a banner and the shape of a banner, and then what I decided to do was, instead of using this as a photo, I think I may use it as like a Project Life card, or at least layered on top of a card. So I decided just to kind of have fun with it and fill in the inside. One thing that I'm looking for at this point is some sort of pop of pink, and I'm doing that because I have that pink and red there at the bottom, and I really want to bring that in. And so my idea is to find some sort of circular element with a pop of pink. That's what I'm doing at this moment. I'm pulling my punch, probably hard to see, there we go, And I punched one shape. I punched a circle shape out of a lighter pink. I didn't really like it too much. It didn't pop good enough for me. And so what I did was I punched another one out of some Amy Tangerine paper, I think. And that's one thing I want to mention is a lot of the papers I chose are from really old collections. And I did that on purpose because we all have that stash where we're like, they're cute papers. We don't really want to get rid of them. But we don't find ourselves actually like pulling for them very much. So I wanted you guys to get inspired to use some of the older collections that are in your stash. So just because a part of an apartment or house is cut off doesn't mean you can't use it. And so that's one of the things that's one of the reasons I love Project Life so much is you can, you can do this in scrapbooking in your traveler's notebook too. And these are great layering pieces, by the way. But one of my ideas, or lately what I've been loving to do, is kind of hang things on the edge. And so cutting off that straight edge or having things that don't have a full shape is perfect for that. So I'm just going to kind of continue to play around with these, and then I will have some final photos coming up pretty soon. I really loved making these. I can't wait to use them and show you guys the projects that I create, and I hope that y'all enjoyed this. Let me know if you have any ideas or anything that you guys would like to see me create. I'll be really honest, it does get kind of hard coming up with new embellishment ideas just because I have done so many of these videos, and I just feel like sometimes it gets redundant, but I hope you guys are still enjoying them. I hope you're finding them inspiring, and I will talk to you guys soon. Bye.